Cool. Thanks, everyone. We've got DHL Stormers head coach John Dobson and the captain Stephen Kitsoff. We'll start with questions in the room and then see if there's anyone on Zoom. If there's anything else after that.
So, how's the build-up been to this one, to all the other games against the Bulls? Do you feel any extra needle in this one?
It's been an odd one, Brendan? Because I think, a while ago, like 2 weeks ago, the momentum was purely against, we were, I'm not saying we are in flow now, but we were clearly stuttering and they were in great flow. Then that Currie Cup game and suddenly swung a little bit. And then from our side, we just had a fantastic training week, probably the best. And look, I'm one of those coaches more comfortable when captains goes badly and when because like the old dress rehearsal thing, but we've had an exceptional week. I think that what we did really well was resting those guys last week, so they came in with energy and focus. So it's been a good build-up for us. I'm not going to be able to use that as an excuse.
Jake's been talking for quite a while now about hoping to get you guys in the quarterfinal after their season. Does that make any difference to you? It's still another North-South game?
Yeah, the initial reaction that got was, no, man, you know what I mean? Another derby, and South African derbies are tight, and our luck's bound to run out at some time. But I'm not sure how much it is luck. But that was the feeling. But then, I looked at Connacht, I looked at Munster, and whichever quarterfinal, Connacht I promise they're a team that's just got better and better. So I'm not sure whether there was a give me. Like last year there was a give me. You know what I mean? And so. The Bulls we know pretty well. Last week would have helped us a little bit in understanding them a bit better. So my initial reaction was horror. Just because I thought we got a lot to lose, and maybe we still got a lot to lose. But in terms of the quarterfinal, I don't think any with as much difference for us in terms of opposition. Munster, if it had been Munster, we'd lost them here. Connacht are going to cause us some. They're going to go take Ulster deep tonight. I've got no doubt.
And just last for me, it sounds like it's going to be a massive crowd.
Yeah.
That's the one good thing, I suppose, about these derby games, is that gets people in and gives it a bit more atmosphere.
Yeah, and I think that's probably I know we're going to get to how we'll get, and we all get sucked into the emotion of trying to win it and all that. If you'd said 2 years ago, in terms of whether we were live sport was in the pandemic, if you'd said 5 years ago, or 4 years ago, Brendan, when Western Province Rugby was that, and our Super Rugby crowds in our case have gone from 40 average down to late teens or something like that, 20 or something like that. This is going to be the biggest Stormers crowd of all time. But that's largely because of the stadium capacity. If Newlands could have sold more, it would have been more. But to reverse a trend and sort of revitalize a tradition and have this for South African rugby is special. I mean, that is, and I'm not going to feel like that tomorrow. But right now it's brilliant for South African rugby. Yeah.
Robert, is it too dramatic to say that the success or failure of the season hinges on one result?
Yeah, I've thought about it a lot, and that's probably why I said to Brendan, my gut was, this is a pity because, they'll say some, people will say it's a playoff that counts and that sort of thing, and it's true. I mean, and we're desperate to win tomorrow, but we sat down in the off season after last year's win and wrote our goals for this season. We've largely achieved them. Going out to the Bulls in the quarterfinal would be a massive kick, but it wasn't one of what we said. That we said, and Mike, you were party to it. It was, and so was Stephen, obviously. Create more depth, prove that we belong. We finished on the same league points as Ulster, deservedly second because we got a less, those draws. We deliberately kept 55 players. It wasn't because of an injury plague. It was to get as far as we could in to make a European playoff. The Ulster, the extra outcome was great. The result was great, not the game. 42-17 was ugly, and there was stuff that was wrong with us there. But if we'd gone to La Rochelle this week, I think we'd be putting our Currie Cup team out tomorrow, and we just couldn't have done it. So, it's got far in Europe, hosted the European quarterfinal, hosted this, won the Shield with a lot more easier. But the most important thing was think that we've got now a broader pool of players, much broader. Even though we've lost Warwick and Rick, is a much broader pool of players for next season. I think, was to consolidate. So that season, that was the most important season goal. Then the next goal was to get as far. The next goal was to try and get as far as we can in the URC, and that's where tomorrow comes into play. And to get as far as we can in the European Cup, which I think we achieved. I don't think we could have got further, nor do I think we should have got further. I mean, I would have preferred 42-41 in Exeter with a controversial call by a Frenchman that we could all be talking about, but we were well beat. But tomorrow will leave a tough taste if we don't. If we don't. Things go our way. We could get much further in the tournament to get through tomorrow. I suspect tomorrow is probably our obviously Leinster, the final will be the hardest game, but tomorrow could be the hardest of these playoff games. Yeah.
Steve, a lot of focus on you this week for obvious reasons. How's it been personally, and the emotions ahead of the game like this is a bit different to what you would usually have?
Yeah, bit of both. Like it was, for me, it's still all about prepping as well as I can for the game and not bringing emotion into my decision making for, especially when it comes to prep. And I think it will be emotional after the game. I think that's where the emotion will really kick in. But for me, it was just all about getting through the process, getting as mentally sharp and ready as I can for this weekend. I think the emotion will come a bit later. Had a nice farewell after the Benetton game, which is very nice, but it was back to business when we got to Monday training. So for me, it's just getting through this game, having a good game, playing well, keeping everyone proud, and then we'll take it from there.
What's the turf like? We don't get to see it up close that often as media.
No, it's brilliant. It's great, Nick.
Sorry. It's brilliant. It's better than it was last week.
So there's patches which is a bit dodgy, but it's still a quick pitch, and I think scrumming and line out and mauling will be the tricky part. But the pitch is playable, and guys must just take extra caution when it comes to studs and those kind of things.
Robert, when I look at what happened with the Bulls last week, and then how they engaged to lose initially, and they kept
How they say?
how they compared to how they played against Curry Cup last week, and then initially against Toulouse, they sort of kept Toulouse down by kicking more, by not really playing good rugby. And maybe they said, like for example, last week they played too much. Do you expect a situation where they don't play rugby against you? That they just kick
Look, I'm certainly expecting them to kick more. I think that they would have experienced that field. So we've trained a lot this week about how to handle their sort of kicking game, how for us to exit if they trap us. That's probably been our major focus. I think they made it quite clear, and it was pretty. It was obvious. So we've planned a lot around that. But I do expect them to, if we just generally kick more and try and make us exit.
Dobson, is it recurring concussions that's keeping him out, or?
No. Sibylla was in a car accident. She's okay. Yesterday evening, and he's in no shape to play rugby again this week. Yeah. Probably leave it there for the time being, because there's family involved and stuff like that. But he's out he has in a car accident. That's why he's not playing.
And you have the likes of Angie there who featured, and he's gradually improved over the season, if I can call it that. So you must be happy, especially that Curry Cup game.
Yeah. Look, I was probably because I've had this conversation with him. After when he was with us before he went back to that Stevens, I thought he was outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. And I know it's where. And I think we struggled a little bit in his rehabilitation. I think it was December when they came back after Dubai or whatever it was. He was absolutely exhausted. And it's taken him a little while to get his spark back, because that's what his X factor is. His speed, his intensity, his work rate, his spark. And I felt, look, defensively superb, which is great for a game like tomorrow. In the air, he's superb, which is great for a game like tomorrow. But I just felt, I agree with you, last week I felt like he had a bit of that, what we love Angie for. So it's probably come at the right time given Sibylla's injury. We had him on the bench originally. And we were going to go 5-3, just because to cover Zas, because Zassi hasn't played for so long. But unfortunately, what happened last night changed the picture a bit.
Then you have Paul that will be covering there.
The actual, you'll correct me, or Brendan will correct me, but the guy we could go there's Damien. I think I want to say correct me. He's played a test on the wing, hasn't he? Or am I wrong? Or he moved? He's moved in a test. He's moved there, yeah. So Damon's an option, and Paul are the two covers, and thirdly Achiever. But it's not ideal. But we literally, with Suleiman out, the Curry Cup team. By the time the sort of news was filtering, the Curry Cup team had like 5:30 or 6:30 flight to Bloem. So it just seemed that we'll go back to 6-2 with one of those guys covering wing.
Stephen, Dion Fourie,
how big a difference does it make to you guys? No, I think it's great to have him back. Just that warrior mentality, the intensity and focus he brings in the game, and also that little bit of dog. So when it comes to breakdown, slowing ball down, getting us, stopping momentum and getting us momentum, I think he's crucial in tight games like this, and also doesn't stop working. So it's massive. It's massive to have him back. He brings a lot of calmness and detail and just a bit of leadership. So nice. It's awesome to have him back, and I think he's hungry to play. Had a good break, and I think he's gonna put up his hand tomorrow.
Robert, are you confident that Sus can come in after a long time out? It's cold on the wing, and you're confident that you'll be all right in that scenario?
Look, I think it's going to be challenging. I think a couple of factors. Just the length of break. We couldn't get him in the game on the field last week at the Currie Cup. The field, it is a field that, you saw guys going down. It's always you see that cramping stretches. So that's going to be a challenge for him. And I'd be surprised if he gets to 80. He would have done well, but he's fit and strong and trained. So I'm not sure we'll get 80 minutes out of him tomorrow. It depends on what the game looks like. If it's just going to be the aerial battle, he'll probably be fine. I know you have to make a few chases. Those guys, their distance can vary from 6Ks to 8Ks in the game. And so we'll just keep an eye on his GPS and keep him warm at halftime and then see how it goes.
Tabo, was it a bit tricky deciding on that loose strength combination, especially after so many guys put their hand up to get it?
The tough one, I think one of the reasons we've done reasonably well in the last while, we've got absolute clarity on our game model. We offered players like just this week that don't really fit our game, but good players, international players. And the one position I haven't got clear in my mind is 7. 6, I know it. We know what it is, and we've got some plans around there. And a lot of things going on about the Storm was on the same with Dion. The point is, probably the key point is that we've actually got a great roster, and Nama Klaba is, to my mind, could be. The Bulls got 2 great 6s. If we play Marcel at 6 and Marco, Nama is going to be up there nationally. I've got no question whatsoever. So we wouldn't have felt Dion if Nama had been there. And then Paul de Villiers is probably just a year off the physio. He's with the SM20. So that 6 is clear to us. So Villy wasn't that. So that was easy. Obviously Dion back. Villiers a 7 and 8, but he did a job. But the one where we haven't got right is Chiva, because he's very different to BJ Dixon. And BJ Dixon's been superb. So there was a debate. Do you start with the big, physical, intense guy and the magic maker bring on, which would probably be the traditional one. But we're actually not sure what the field does with Chooks, Chiva. And he's done a great job for us. So then we actually went the other way. We'll start at Chiva, see how he goes. And then BJ, you got a massive impact. I think BJ is going to be something very, very special there.
And Marcel being sort of that in-between player, if you look at he got like a lot of other people last week, got an HIA. And he was only getting cleared today. And we felt that, to rush a 7-day protocol before such a big game, when there were certainties in Villy and BJ, was true. Because we were going to go 5-3 until the Sinatra thing. Yeah.
Cool, guys. See, we've got Gavin Rich coming live from the Blue Pizza in Bloberg.
Waiting for his question's going to be, where's Brendan? What time is he coming?
Not at the Blue Peter yet. Just when you were talking just now about, and I mean, I think my memory is correct.
So typical.
Sash is on the bench this week. If my memory serves me correctly, the first time I saw him play for the Stormers was in the quarterfinal last year.
Correct.
Was it
Edinburgh, correct.
And it was a similar sort of situation where you sort of went. You went for him because I think the Currie Cup team had gone away. There might have been other players, and you went 5-2. So I mean, 6-2. And he came on inside. Somebody got injured in that game.
Rickus Pretorius in about the second minute or something, wasn't it?
Warm up.
Warm up.
Yeah, cut his cough.
Yes,
No, it was Durban. No, you're right. Sorry. It's good he's right.
Well, he ended up playing most of the game. How much of that is I mean, because obviously you're going in with him tomorrow, and he's got a lot more experience now. How much of that is almost like an indication of what you're talking about, having grown that depth? I mean, last year you were sort of almost like on a wing and a prayer in a way because you had this guy and you didn't really know what he could do. You were taking a chance. You were almost like throwing a coin in the air and hoping it fell right. Now it's like, you've got all these guys and you know exactly what to expect of them. You're in a very different space to what you were 12 months ago.
Yeah, that's why I said to Lloyd at the start that I know I don't want people to think I'm trying to get out of tomorrow's result. We're certainly not, but that's probably where our greatest satisfaction comes. So, part of we had a debate, Sasha versus Blommer. Sasha can cover other positions. He's been exceptional for the Currie Cup. But this, last week at 12 was, so, like we always said, he's like a younger Damien Willemse, but he's progressed so rapidly. We just felt, we know we've got in Blommer. This guy would be much better off with this experience tomorrow. So it is a bit about building depth, but this is not as I say, not a forced hand situation. This is a completely voluntary call to give him this experience, And we've got a certain plan around our 15s and how we want to play, and I think he could be a solution there. So, and I say he covers a couple more positions, but that's exactly what we wanted, was to increase our sort of young pool.
Thanks. So obviously, we didn't, I haven't spoken to this week. I mean, obviously, Ruben came through everything really well. I mean, he was, the last time I saw Ruben, he was on crutches after the Benetton game.
Yeah, they're calling him Lazarus Dart. But that's the thing with rugby. It's emotional, but the medical report, it's not the doctor, because they hadn't been for the scan, was 12 weeks, which put him somewhere into, I don't know, next year. Put him into July or something. And then that was the Monday. And Tuesday, they get a casual note for the doctor. We're just doing his HIA. Should be fine for next week. So, so that's a big one for us. He's been one of our, I think one of our better signings we made. It was largely serendipitous, but he's been a great signing. And if you think about until the unfortunate incident with, unfortunately what happened to Sibelo, I think the only guy out, were Ernst and Salman and Ruben are competing for the same position. One of them would play. So to only have one out, if you go, Sibelo, because Ruben and Salman are very much like for like at this stage of the season. And I've just seen the Bulls team seems also a pretty healthy roster. It's quite good. It means there's been some good management of players across the teams that you fielding such strong rosters at this stage of the season.
Thanks.
Cool. No other questions on Zoom? Are there other questions? Yeah. Thanks, guys. Nice one. We'll see you tomorrow.